morning, Mark Soderberg with ADM Investor Services with your morning ag outlook for a Thursday, June 12th. Well, second day in a row, all green on the screen here from the overnight trade. That ahead of today's USDA WSDA data at 11 o'clock. We also expect production updates from CONAB later this morning. In addition to that, we have our weekly export sales data. Minneapolis wheat is the leader to the upside right now, trading 7 to 8 better or 2 to 3 better in both Chicago and in Kansas City. Corn prices near their highs, up 2 cents. Soybean prices also recovered here to new highs for the session, steady to 3 higher, let's call it. 2 to 3 better in the meal, breaking above its 50-day moving average, while bean oil is steady to about 10 points higher. U.S. dollar, that's fallen to a new 3-year low overnight as we await the PPI numbers from May. CPI numbers yesterday came in softer than expected, up 0.1% versus expectations of up 0.2%. Year over year, inflation has run 2.4%. Still above the Fed target of 2.0, and that 2.4% was in line with expectations. Yesterday's markets just seemed to shrug off the EIA data that showed weekly ethanol production matched a record high at 1,120,000 barrels per day, or 329 million gallons. Production was well above expectations, and despite that high production, stocks actually fell to 23.7 million barrels. That was below expectations, however, still up 3% year over year. I don't think we're going to see any changes to the USDA forecast for corn usage for ethanol production, holding steady at 5.5 billion bushels. I do lean higher here down the road, however, given the recent surge the last couple of weeks. I do see corn ending stocks slipping 25 million bushels to 1.390 billion. That due to higher exports, partially offset by lower feed usage. No changes on the bean balance sheets. I do see wheat ending stocks slipping 10 million bushels, rising 10 million bushels on the old crop due to lower exports. On the production side, USDA has raised production each year here in the past decade. In this June report, I like those odds. I'm going with 1.395 billion bushels. That would be up 13 million from last month. And I do expect new crop exports to rise here, given we've jumped out to the highest levels in over a decade now. And I think a 20 million bushel increase there will pretty much keep ending stocks near unchanged, accounting for the higher carrying stocks and higher production. The only change I've got in South America is a 2 million metric ton increase on the Brazilian corn forecast to 132 million metric tons. U.S. weather mostly favorable here, as much of the nation's midsection will see a good mix of rain and sunshine here over the next 10 days to 2 weeks. Too much rain, however, across areas of the southern Midwest could continue to delay harvest progress while threatening production and quality for this year's wheat crop. Past 24 hours saw heavy rains in East Texas and along the Gulf Coast, another pretty heavy band here across the north central Midwest. The favorable weather pattern, I think, for now will continue to limit the upside for both new crop corn and soybean prices. July corn sits very close to 440 at about the midpoint of its 2-week range. Inside trade for D's corn. I'll be eager to see if the USDA makes any changes to their new crop corn export forecast in light of what's expected to be higher production from Brazil. Overnight weakness in July bean snapped right back to its 100-day moving average near 1050. Inside trade for July bean oil as it consolidates near 48 cents per pound. This morning, Strategies Grain, they raised their EU soft wheat production forecast 1 million metric tons, while Rosario Grain Exchange lowered their Argentine forecast 0.3 due to flooding rains. So we'll have an update at 11 o'clock on the USDA. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great day.